Hello students, welcome to another lecture of electrochemistry. In the last class we have seen the definition of battery and we have also seen the two different types of batteries. One was primary battery and the other was secondary battery. Both of them had a very striking difference, which is one can be used many times without disposing and you can do so by continuously charging the battery after every use, but the other one can be used only once and after that it has to be disposed of. The first battery which cannot be reused again was called as primary battery, and we have seen two such examples for primary battery. One is dry cell or Leclanché cell and the other is mercury cell. These two are the examples of primary battery which cannot be used again after your first use. That means it has to be disposed of, right? So, let us look at how these two types of primary batteries work and inside the battery what reactions takes place. In the electrochemistry, we have seen the construction of each and every cell followed by its working, followed by cell reactions, cell representations, right? The same has to be applied even for these batteries also, whether it is primary or secondary, how it is constructed, how it works, what will be its reactions, we have to write in that order only. Coming to the dry cell you can commonly call it as pencil batteries, which are most widely used in toys and remotes, right? It is very small in size. The voltage it provides is roughly around 1.5 volts, right? It will be very less and you can use it for a short duration of time and no further possibility exists. Okay? Coming to its construction, it is made of zinc container, right? And the container itself acts as anode. The container is of zinc material and that container itself acts as anode. And inside that container, in the center of that container, you will find one carbon rod or a graphite rod which acts as cathode, right? Zinc rod or zinc container itself acts as anode. Therefore, if you are saying it to be anode, it should undergo oxidation reactions, and if you are making carbon rod to be cathode, it should undergo the reduction reactions, as we already know, right? Then what is the electrolyte for this battery? Is a mixture of MnO2 paste, carbon black and ammonium chloride paste. A paste of MnO2 plus carbon black and ammonium chloride acts as an electrolyte for this battery, right? So, how it works is same as any other electrochemical cell. Anode undergoes its reaction of oxidation and cathode undergoes its reaction of reduction. Let us write the cell reaction. At anode, what was the reaction? Oxidation. Who is anode here? Zinc container. What is oxidation reaction? Zinc loses an electron to become Zn plus 2 ion by losing electron, right? At cathode, what is the reaction? Reduction. And who is cathode here? Where are the reduction reaction takes place? At carbon rod. What happens is MnO2 present in the solution, MnO2 present in the solution reacts with ammonium ion NH4 plus Cl minus, right? This NH4 plus from ammonium chloride takes 2 electron lost by anode and undergoes reduction. MnO2, ammonium ion and 2 electrons from anode, and that gives rise to manganic hydroxide plus ammonia. Manganic hydroxide plus ammonia gas. This is reduction in which MnO2 has plus 4 oxidation state, means 4 electrons are less in this Mn and 3 electrons are less in this manganic oxide, or 2 electrons are less. right? So 2 electrons are gained by whom? Here. Therefore, is it a reduction reaction or not? Now let us write the final reaction. Right? Final reaction is zinc plus MnO2 plus NH4 plus gives rise to Zn plus 2 plus manganic hydroxide plus ammonia. This is the final reaction, right? This is the construction of a dry cell. This is how it works, and final reaction is this. By this way of working, how much voltage that generates is around 1.5 volts. Where do you find the application of dry cell? At small scale level, you will find huge applications of this dry cell in toys and even in remotes, right? This is how it is applied in our daily life. Please note down the reactions and let us go to the next battery. Coming to the next type of primary battery, which is mercury cell. It is also like dry cell only, but its size is even smaller than dry cell, right? It will be used in even smaller devices, and therefore its voltage is also lesser than dry cell, right? Let us see its construction. It is like a coin or a semicircle which is having compartments of anode at the top and cathode at the bottom. In between you will find electrolyte. Who is anode here? Anode is an amalgam of zinc and mercury, which that mixture itself acts as anode, and cathode is a mixture of mercuric oxide plus carbon black, right? This is a cathode. In between you will find an electrolyte, which is basic electrolyte having potassium hydroxide and zinc oxide, right? So now let us write who is anode. Mixture of zinc and mercury amalgam acts as anode, therefore it should undergo oxidation, and mercuric oxide plus carbon acts as cathode, therefore it should undergo reduction reactions. The same type of reactions we should write even for mercury cell. Write the heading cell reactions. Next, at anode. Who is anode? Zinc mercury amalgam. From that zinc mercury amalgam, zinc undergoes oxidation to become Zn plus 2 and loses 2 electrons. And at cathode, let us see the cell reactions. And first heading is at anode. Who is anode? Zinc mercury amalgam. From that zinc mercury amalgam, it uses OH minus ions from the electrolyte and undergoes oxidation to give Zn plus 2 plus H2O plus 2 electrons. Zn plus 2 plus H2O plus 2 electrons. That 2 electrons are lost by Zn or not? Yes. That same 2 electrons will be gained by cathode. At cathode, let us write the reaction. Who is cathode here? Mercuric oxide. Mercuric oxide takes water and 2 electrons to become mercuric plus 2 plus 2 OH minus ions, right? So this is the reaction at anode and reaction at cathode. Now let us write the final reaction. Zinc mercury amalgam plus HgO give rise to Zn plus 2 plus Hg plus 2. This is the final reaction for mercury cell. As its size is very small, it is used in small devices like hearing aids. Hearing aids are very small in size, and the battery used for that aids is this battery, which is a mercury cell. Its voltage will be very less of 1.35 volts. Okay, please copy down the reactions and let us go for the secondary batteries now. The two types of primary batteries which we have seen was mercury cell and dry cell. Coming to the secondary batteries, the battery which can be recharged many times even after its use is called as a secondary battery, and the examples of secondary battery we have is lead acid storage cell, and it is used in inverters. The moment the reason why it is used in inverters is it's large in size, its voltage provided is also high, voltage provided by this battery is also high, and the electrolyte used in this battery is acid, which is dilute sulfuric acid. Let us look at its construction and its uses. It is a big box. A cubic box is present. Right? It is like a cubic box in which the horizontal section we are seeing the cubic box in which many plates or 12 plates are alternately arranged. Plates of lead metal are arranged in a serial manner, which are alternately followed by lead oxide plate. One plate of lead, other plate of lead oxide, another plate of lead, another plate of lead oxide. This type of alternate arrangement is present inside a big cubic box, right? So that lead plate is nothing but anode, and that lead oxide plate is nothing but cathode. What is the electrolyte in between? Is 38% concentrated, 38% of dilution or concentration of H2SO4 is the electrolyte for this battery. So anode is lead, cathode is lead oxide, and the electrolyte is sulfuric acid. Why you are calling it as storage means it stores so much of energy after the forward reactions which can be reused again. Once the charging is built up, the forward reaction takes place and the energy is stored, and the moment you start using the battery, backward reaction takes place and all the stored energy will be used. Therefore, it is called as a storage cell. Now, let us look at cell reactions. Let us look at cell reactions. These reactions which I am writing are the reactions which takes place whenever you are using the battery. Using the battery means you are discharging the battery, and it comes under using, discharging. Discharging means you are using the battery, removing all its charging. Okay. Same heading, reaction at anode. Who is anode here? Lead plate is anode, and this lead plate undergoes oxidation by losing 2 electrons. Coming to cathode. This is not only one reaction. At anode, lead undergoes oxidation to give lead plus 2, and that lead plus 2 takes sulfate ion from the solution and gives lead sulfate. Right? That lead plus 2 ion takes sulfate from the solution. Solution has sulfuric acid, H plus ions and SO4 minus ions. From that sulfuric acid, SO4 minus ion will be taken by lead plus 2 ion. So at anode, the final reaction is lead plus sulfate gives lead sulfate. plus 2 electrons. This reaction is anode. Right, these are the two reactions of anode. This is the final reaction of anode. Coming to cathode reactions. At cathode, lead oxide is cathode and it undergoes reduction. H plus ions. At cathode, lead oxide is cathode. It takes 2 electrons and 2 H plus ions and 1 sulfate ion also. Lead oxide has plus 4 oxidation state. By gaining 2 electrons, it becomes plus 2, and even that also gets converted into lead sulfate. From plus 4, if it gains 2 electrons, it becomes plus 3 and plus 2. Therefore, from cathode side, plus 4 of lead is becoming plus 2. From anode side, 0 of lead is becoming plus 2. Both of them are giving lead plus 2 ion, which is combining with sulfate to give lead sulfate ions, and H2O. Right. So, this is the reaction at cathode. Now, let us cancel the reactions of anode and cathode to write the overall reaction. Right. Lead plus lead oxide plus sulfate. How many sulfates? One sulfate at anode side, another sulfate at cathode side, and then H plus ions. Lead oxide is this, and therefore you need 4 H plus ions, 2 H2O. 4 H plus ions, therefore you need 2 H2O. I covered lead, lead oxide, sulfate and H plus ions on this side of the final reaction. Coming to other side, how many lead sulfate? One formed at anode, another lead sulfate formed at cathode. Both of them was forming lead sulfate only. So, 2 lead sulfates are formed at the final reaction and 2 H2O. This is the final reaction of the battery whenever you are using the battery. After oxidation also you are getting lead sulfate, and after reduction also you are getting lead sulfate, right. So, during discharging of the battery, this reaction takes place and you will use energy. Discharging, you will use that energy. Okay. Please copy these reactions and let us move towards charging reactions. So, this was the final reaction for discharging, right. During discharging, what happens is, after the reaction takes place, you will get that energy, and based on that energy only the cell works. Coming to the reactions at charging time, at the time of charging, what you do is you will start giving electrical energy. If you give electrical energy, whatever reaction took place during discharging, if you give electrical energy, charging is nothing but you are supplying electrical energy. If you are supplying electrical energy, whatever reaction took place during the time of discharging, exactly opposite reaction takes place during the time of charging. If at the time of discharging, lead and lead oxide together gave lead sulfate plus energy, at the time of charging, 2 lead sulfates will be converted, one into lead, other into lead oxide, by utilizing the energy which you are supplying in the form of power. Okay. So, now let us write the reaction at the time of charging. By looking at the above reaction, you can easily write the reaction for charging, which is exactly opposite. 2 lead sulfates plus 2H2O plus energy. Why you are writing energy on this side is because reactant you are giving energy. If you don't give energy, this reaction cannot take place. Exactly backward reaction, lead plus lead oxide plus 2 sulfates plus 4H plus ions. This is the opposite reaction at the time of charging. So, if you do charging one time, this reaction takes place, and then after charging is 100%, you start using the battery, opposite reaction takes place. If the battery becomes 0%, again you will charge, again this reaction takes place and followed by the opposite reaction. Both the reactions are taking place in the opposite manner during charging and discharging, and in this way the cell is acting like a storage cell by storing the energy which we are supplying and utilizing whenever needed. Therefore, this is a secondary battery, also called as a storage cell, and it provides larger voltage compared to the primary cells. Its voltage will be higher than the primary cells. Okay, please copy down the total reactions including charging and discharging, and let us go to the next cell. Coming to the next type of secondary cell, which is nickel cadmium cell, it is having more lifespan, or its life is more compared to the previous cell which was lead acid storage cell, right. Even though you are seeing its size to be small, but its lifespan is greater than lead acid storage cell, therefore it is expensive. Voltage provided by this may be lesser than the previous one, but it is having lifespan more than the previous one, therefore it is quite expensive. Let us not go into details of the reaction, but first see its construction. It is also like a dry cell only, which we have seen in the very beginning, in which one rod will be there in the center, and the construction is followed by one plate of positive and followed by a separator and another plate of negative. Positive plate followed by separator, then negative plate, then separator, then positive plate. Alternately it is arranged just like lead acid storage cell. Positive plate is nothing but it is made of nickel hydroxide, and negative plate is nothing but cadmium, right. So, negative plate is nothing but anode, therefore it undergoes oxidation reaction. Positive plate is cathode, therefore it undergoes reduction reactions. So, oxidation reaction of anode means cadmium gets converted into cadmium plus 2, right, and oxidation of cadmium into cadmium plus 2, and nickel hydroxide trihydroxide undergoes reduction to give nickel dihydroxide. One oxygen it is going here and the other oxygen is going here. This is the final reaction of nickel cadmium cell. If you look at this final reaction, cadmium is becoming cadmium plus 2, oxidation is taking place. Nickel trihydroxide is becoming nickel dihydroxide, reduction is taking place, and 1 mole of water molecule is coming out. This is the final reaction of nickel cadmium cell. This is how it gives electrical energy, right. This is the reaction of forward or discharging. When you are using the battery, this reaction takes place. That means whenever you are charging the battery, exactly opposite reactions will take place. At the time of discharging, always for every secondary cell you have to write the reactions of discharging first, because you will use the battery. How it is used, that has to be mentioned first. After that you have to write regeneration of the energy. How you are using the battery, that is very important reaction, and after writing that reaction, charging the battery becomes exactly opposite. So, now what I will do is I will write cell reactions for charging. Now, what we have to write is exactly the opposite reaction. Cadmium oxide plus nickel dihydroxide plus water plus charging means you are giving the energy. and exactly opposite reaction takes place and the cell becomes 100% charged. After getting 100% charged, you will start the battery to use again, and the opposite reaction takes place followed by charging. This reaction takes place followed by discharging, and it takes place alternately. Okay, these are primary batteries and secondary batteries examples, and in the next class we will see fuel cells. Okay, thank you.